Welcome back. Yes, it's better if a painting is dry before it's hung. Well, David, they say that opposites attract sometimes, but sometimes opposites can actually be attractive and really interesting words, even if sometimes they're a bit unfamiliar.
That's right. If you remember, it was possibly about 3 months ago, we had the word diurnal that occurred during one of the letter mixes. And that's the opposite of nocturnal, and it's the less common flip side, if you like, of a more familiar word.
Because we all know the word nocturnal, it's just one of those ones that, for whatever reason, is familiar. So quite an unfamiliar version, and yet it is just the night and day of the equation.
That's right. Nocturnal, that is related to night or night behaviour. Alert during the night, and diurnal is alert during the day or relating to day. Now, I'll test you on one because I know you love your animals. The word hibernate, meaning to spend the winter. Do you know what the opposite of hibernate is?
I have actually heard this word, and I can't bring it to mind, but I'm guessing it's something to do with the Latin for summer. I can't think what that word is.
That's right, which is aestivalis, A-E-S-T-I-V-A-L-I-S, and the verb of that is to aestivate or estivate. So an animal that estivates essentially is dormant during the summer, and an estival celebrates the summer or relates to summer. Now, the last one that I think is quite comic is the word I discovered that there is the hairy-nosed wombat, but in flicking through this dictionary, I never knew there actually is a naked-nosed wombat. So that would be the opposite of that animal.
I didn't know that either, actually. That's a great discovery. Lesser-known opposites.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
Pleasure.
Let's have a look at these scores now. Steve's on 15. Tony is on 22 as we head for some more letters. And Steve, you to choose once again, please.
Lily, could I start with a consonant, please?
Thanks, Steve. T.
And a vowel.
O.
Another consonant, please.
C.
And another consonant.
T.
And a vowel, please.
A.
And another vowel.
I.
Consonant, please, Lily.
R.
And another vowel.
E.
And one more consonant.
And lucky last, G.
Thank you, Lily. Time starts now. Steve, how many that time?
5, Richard.
And Tony?
I had 7.
Let's begin with the 5, please.
Great.
And Tony?
Garrot.
I think great got garroted.
It did. Look, garrot is perfectly fine. It does have several spellings, so I'll just ask you to clarify if I could, Tony.
G-A-R-O-T-T-E.
That is one of those spellings. That's fine. And my word rhymed with great, and that's cogitate for 8.
Very nice. Well done, David. You obviously were. 7 points for Tony, though, in that round. More letters without delay. And Tony, this time, what would you like?
Can I start with a consonant?
Thanks, Tony. D.
And another consonant?
S.
And a third consonant?
Y.
Switch to vowels, please.
U.
And another vowel?
A.
And back to a consonant?
L.
Another consonant?
P.
One more, please.
C.
I'll have one more vowel, please.
And lastly, O.
And here's the clock. Well, Tony, how was that mix for you?
Try 7.
7 for you. Steve?
And a 7.
7 for you. That's great to hear. Steve, let's start with that.
Scalped.
Very nice. Tony?
Calypso.
What do you think, David?
Well, let me sing Tony's praises. That's a lovely word. It's the song of the Caribbean. It's also an orchid, the calypso I've just discovered here. Unfortunately, Steve, scalped. That ED, I'm presuming. There's no E in that mix, so could not have allowed that anyway. So it takes us back to calypso, and the best word, uploads, another 7 that I found.
Nice work, and very well done to Tony. 7 points. Well, our first numbers game was very forgiving indeed. Let's see if it toughens up for our second round. And Steve, would you like to choose them this time?
Lily, could I have 2 large and 4 small, please?
Thanks, Steve. 2 large and 4 small. And starting with the smalls, 9, 7, 6, 4. The 2 large, 125. And the target to reach is 416.
Let's head there. Well, once again, we had plenty of waiting time there for the clock to come around, so the numbers were rather kind. So, Steve, we assume that you got to 416?
I did, Richard.
And you, Tony?
I got 416.
Okay, Steve, tell us how you got there.
4 by 100 is 400,
4 times 100 is 400,
plus the 7,
plus the 7,
and plus the 9.
plus the 9 is 416.
Very straightforward, but right to the target. Well done, Steve. Tony, your method the same?
Exactly the same.
Could you just verify, please, the formalities required? So, what a gentle start to the week, Lily.
Well, believe it or not, I complicated it for myself when I first looked at it. It
You
wasn't
made
until
it more difficult.
I made it more difficult.
You went the scenic route.
And it wasn't until later that I looked and I'm like, oh, there is a simpler method. I'll talk you through the other method.
Okay,
anyway.
yeah, show us how you
Yeah.
would have done it to complicate things.
So basically I looked, there's 4 and 100, and 4 times 4 is 16. So I need to make another 4 out of this, out of these 3 numbers. And the way to do it is 9 minus 7 is 2, 6 minus 2 is 4, and so you add the 4 to the 100, times that all together gives you 416.
Very nice, and a perfect example of the scenic route.
Yep, perfect.
But very well done to Tony and Steve. 25 for Steve now, 46 for Tony as we go into our next break. And your next word mix, it's bunt robs. And the clue this time, hard to move. See you after the break.